There are many things I've been skeptical about of our generation, but one of them that stays so close to my heart is the idea of our ability to lay claims to the fact that we can just go into relationships without commitment. We can just go about hanging around, playing around, using ourselves for different stuffs, laying claims of being in a relationship without wanting the commitment of exclusivity, without wanting the commitment to really be responsible. It's a thing I've not been able to understand, and so you see people go to clubs on Fridays, Saturdays, or any other day in the week and hope to go home and get laid, and they all equally hope to meet people, even if not to get laid, just to hang out with the possibility of still getting laid, and just like that. And what they fail to understand is the psychology that goes on in the minds of people who ordinarily just think about let's just having fun. And if you scratch the surface of such a thinking, if you scratch the surface of such ideas, if you scratch the surface of such persons and the psychology that really make up their minds and really make up their heads, you get to see how debasing that particular philosophy of just having fun can really be. You just get to see how uncharitable such a perception can be. But it's what you see around our world, it's what you see on a daily, it's what you see every day, it's what you see people do every now and then, and nobody really wants to go deep down, at least beyond the surface area. It's their life, just hang around, just play around, just use people, and then let's just hope and see that probably nothing happens to them. But a lot of things get to happen. Psychologies of persons get to change. People get to have different perception of people. People get to respond to people differently. People get to look at almost every person that comes their way as just wanting to have fun, just wanting to go down, just wanting to probably just get laid, just wanting to be used from a utilitarian perspective for their personal goal, for their personal ambition, without the prospect and the possibility of ever coming to terms with the fact that a thing like life, a thing like human dignity is a thing to ordinarily be respected. And a thing like commitment, and a thing like responsibility, and a thing like kindness, a thing like love, a thing like openness to the possibility of what life can bring. A thing like love can indeed be cultivated and can indeed be nurtured and be allowed to grow and blossom. And so day in, day out, you find people being depressed, you find people being sad, you find people being angry at themselves, you find people being cynical about the prospect of living life here and the prospect of existence. And they do this all within the framework of the utilitarian perspective upon which their life has been, and the lives of their loved ones, and the lives of those they come to know, and the lives of their friends, and their own philosophies. And you just begin to ask yourself, from where to where to where, and at what point are we going to sit down and reflect on the prospect and the danger of a guy who just tells a girl, let's just have fun? A girl who just wants to have fun with a guy. Such happens only when somebody demeans and degrades and diminishes the other person's dignity. Such happens when people just give up on the idea that they can be responsible. Such happens on a whole lot of front, and we just think it's normal. No, somebody cannot just come up to you and tell you, let's just have fun, and you just accept it on the face value without really thinking about the undertones that ordinarily come with such a proclamation, such a declaration. Let's just have fun, let's just have a good time, let's just vibe for the moment. Such a person disrespects you, such a person demeans you, such a person has already finished diminishing your reputation and your dignity before even coming to approach you with such an offer. Sometimes they do it without even getting to know the deeper implication of what they are ordinarily after and what they ordinarily hold and the philosophies they tend to hold and subscribe to. But it takes a bit of caution to actually come to see that at the heart of this desire for just having fun is the desire to be free, the desire to be without freedom, the need for spontaneity, the need for openness to anything that can happen in the long run. But at the heart of this is a narcissistic behavior that in time will get to be made available to such a person at the receiving end, if such a person ordinarily gets to see how things ordinarily get to play out. Because when somebody says let's just have fun, they want freedom, they want to frame a particular emotional bond, so to say, without the prospect of being committed or being responsible for the actions that go down there. As such, there can be times of unavailability on their part, and they will still hold on to the idea of the fact that it is an open relationship and it's just about fun. And humans are not just about fun. Humans are deep thinkers. Humans are committed to a prospect in life that ordinarily should bring about meaning. Humans derive meaning from interaction with people, and meaning don't come in isolation. It comes with our response to the society, our response to the next person, our response to our immediate environment, and what we do to get to better our lives down there. And so when somebody say let's just have fun, what does the person really mean? Let's just have fun. Let's just have fun as having fun alone, or let's just have fun by destroying ourselves, or let's just have fun by demeaning ourselves, or let's just have fun because such a person wants to carve frames that would ordinarily align to them and to their levels of control as opposed to what generally can be done. Or such a person genuinely is really saying, I don't give a fuck about you. Have you thought of the level of loneliness that will come with this, the level of insecurity, the level of emptiness that will come with such a relationship? Because it will just be an idea tied to animalistic tendencies and deplorable behaviors as opposed to the love that can come with a committed relationship. Have you thought about the pain, the moments of emptiness you would get to feel when you sit down within yourself in the confines of your room alone, or on the street, or on the train, or in the bus, or in a church, or in your office, thinking about the prospect of being in a relationship that is in and about just fun, that is in and about just fun. A relationship that is in and about just fun. Is it something you want to do? Is it something that anybody should ordinarily even want to do? Just fun. Just have fun. That's it. Have fun. Just have fun. How does that sound? Just have fun. It doesn't make sense, right? Because it doesn't make sense. But then every now and then you see in our world people running away from commitment, people running away from the prospect of wanting to be responsible individuals, wanting to be responsible people, wanting to ordinarily tell themselves, you know what, I think I am worth more than what I get. I think I am worth more than the preferences I'm giving myself. Maybe I should package myself a little bit more. Maybe I should look deeper into myself and look at my consciousness and look at how I can ordinarily make sense of my life down here, because at the moment the life I am living and the life I have proposed to myself doesn't just really make sense. The culture we have at the moment is not a culture that we ordinarily should embrace. Culture is made for people and not people for culture. So if a culture is not favorable, if a culture is deplorable, if a culture is sadistic, if a culture is narcissistic, if a culture is all about utilitarianism, it's a culture that should be done away with and new prospects given, because nobody wants to be treated the way we have ordinarily come to accept as the norm, as the way we ordinarily should be treated. There are many persons out there who want stable relationships. There are many persons who don't just desire to be laid and that's in and about it. There are persons who ordinarily seek for commitment. But then they are at the mercy of those who come out and lie to them about the prospect of being in a relationship when all they just want to do is just have fun, get laid, get their libidos tested again, get their sexual promiscuity, get their sexual exuberance satisfied and their tension eased, and then they move on. And those who really want committed relationships would never really get to know those who ordinarily don't want committed relationship. So sometimes it takes the pain of being in a relationship or being in something like that for a very long time before coming to really understand the prospect of the pain and the sorrow and the problems that can arise from the fact that having fun is not just having fun. It's a sick culture. It's a culture that ordinarily seeks to devalue the next person for selfish gains. As such, as the person who ordinarily wants a committed relationship would come to realize sooner or later, is the fact that he or she is not really being seen, is not really being felt, is not really being noticed, is not really being desired, because the levels of commitment in such a relationship would generate an imbalance. And as the feelings continue to grow and as the desire for commitment continues to be avoided by the other party who ordinarily just want to have fun, this person begins to realize the fact that he or she has not just been seen. He or she has not just been noticed, nor respected. Neither has his or her dignity been appreciated or been recognized. And so the drift and the realization brings about a deeper pain, an ache in the heart, the type that can only be felt without the prospect of a possibility of really coming to explain what such ordinarily is or how such ordinarily gets to affect such a person. And so this person continues life with a new level of cynicism, a kind of doubt that ordinarily leaves such a person in constant distrust, and such a level of vulnerability is something not even the devil should come to experience, because it leaves you doubting. And even when you get to find the right person, you cannot even know, because in and about all you do is doubt. In and about all you do is doubt. And when you do that, it leaves you sick. It leaves you really, really sick. It leaves such a person dying slowly, and sometimes dying even fast. There's a danger here. There's a danger that we must really get to look at when we confront and when we come across people who just tell us, let's just have fun. There's a danger. There's a danger that is around the corner. There's a danger within the sound of their voice. There's a danger at the gestures they get to propose to us that we ordinarily should take seriously. Because this person ordinarily just wants to frame a particular thing that suits them, gets a framework, gets a connectivity that doesn't require availability, doesn't require when it befits or when it suits the next person. It's about how to get these dynamics that will get to see to it that from their own perspective, they get to control things, and they get to use you. When you allow them to do that, they get to exploit you. They get to explore all the things they want to explore without the prospect of a commitment. And in doing so, they show how narcissistic they are. They show the level of narcissism that ordinarily can come with such a proposal. They show how diminishing their thought of you can be, how annoying you ordinarily should be at them but refuse to be, because sometimes you as a person also get to settle for less. Because tell me how such a person would make such a proposal to you with you knowing your levels of with you knowing your dignity, coming to just accept such a proposal without questioning. It shows also how your psychology is also to be called to question. Shows how the heart sometimes can go on its own way without really coming to understand what it's ordinarily supposed to even understand in the first place. The psychologies of these persons have been badly messed up. The fear of rejection, the fear of losing their convenience, the fear of letting go, the fear of possible consequences that arise from the fact that you ordinarily ought to be responsible and you ordinarily ought to stay within bounds of such commitments. And some of the psychological stuff we ordinarily get to see in people who want and people who desire people for fun's sake alone. People who just want to explore, people who are just open to doing things even though they know they are inadequate in terms of meeting your desires and your needs. And so the story continues. Many persons continue to find their hearts broken. Many persons continue to find themselves aching and being sad and being angry and being hungry for true commitment and for true love in our modern world today. In and about the fact that they accept and sometimes they confront the realities of our modern world. a utilitarian world, a capitalistic world that see people in and about the lens of capitalism, in and about the lens of commodities, in and about the length of what we can do rather than what we ordinarily are. It's a sad tale. It's a sad tale because weekends will come, weekends will go. On a daily, people will meet people, and people will just be as materialistic and as sentimental as possible without any sense of metaphysics, without any sense of desires, without any sense of emotions that ordinarily come with responsibilities. And as the world goes, so do we. Fighting for meaning, fighting for love. All from where we started from. The idea of having fun. 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 Just fun. Nothing but fun. Fun and fun alone. I don't know how that works. Maybe you want to tell me. See you next time.